Step off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the tracks suddenly must be mine.
Look at Mappin going three wide going into school.
And Mappin got it. Oh, what a move! What a move!
You know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. You know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. You know what I mean?
Himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL, but now he's a three-time F1XL champion. He's brilliant.
Be careful what you believe, so open up your fists, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every man you'll need.
Good evening and welcome to the F1XL Extra show. It's the first one of season 17 and my God, we've been going for 17 seasons. That's something to say. Something to be proud of, I think is the best way to do it. Anyway, we have had the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on Sunday just gone, and instead of ending the season there, we started the season. And to start the show, let's introduce Mr. Tazo, as he's my co-host for the Extra for the season. As the whole of last season, exactly the same. So, Mr. Tazo, welcome.
17 seats. Where's it gone? Hi, everyone. Oh, man. That was an entertaining weekend, wasn't it?
I mean, it was very, very, I want to say... I mean, F1 had rain. That's all that really is to be said about the races in general, I think.
Slow Dog, in terms of the certain GIF, we don't talk about that here. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, to be fair, the fact that someone said the fact that it's raining in F1, I immediately was like, nah. And then I heard it was, and it was like, okay, something has gone wrong.
Something definitely went wrong. But before we start massively involved with anything, just want to say thank you very much for the Prime sub there by Kieran in the intro, or in the starting soon screen. And then AZ06, I'm not going to go with all the numbers because I will confuse myself.
Just call him Az. Part of Team Azid and Wiz, remember?
Oh, okay, yes. Acid and Wiz. 500 bits there, much appreciated as well. So, Mr. Tazo, before we go into all the leagues, obviously we had that picture competition, and that was a really good idea, wasn't it? It's come up with some really nice pictures throughout the races.
Yeah, there was quite a few good ones, to be fair. I'm surprised we got as many as we did, though.
I'm kind of surprised that we didn't get any of crashing. There was a few incidents through the weekend, and I'm surprised there's no one taken one of a car in the wall or something. But, not that I saw anyway. But we'll be announcing that a little bit later on, who won that little prize. But I suppose, well, Scotsman is our first guest, and before I fully introduce him, I mean, he's got a tough job on his hands because it's F5. It's the first time in a few seasons we've had F5, and we've having problems with the spreadsheet, just like it's just like F1XL to have technical issues. We do apologise for that, you guys. It isn't something we know how to fix, to be perfectly honest. Everything is correct in there, just they don't want to work. So Pingers is looking behind the scenes. Hopefully, eventually he'll find a fix for it. And I've just seen Greeners say, Keith, don't swear, and he's sworn in the chat. But that's brilliant. Perfect way to start. And on the subject of that, welcome, Scotsman.
Hello, how do?
Hello!
I don't know
Don't
why.
slag the Scotsman.
That
Come on.
sounds like something from How to Train Your Dragon or something. I quite.
No, I tell you exactly what it is. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah,
Help is on the way, dear. Help is on the way.
So let's talk about F1 before we bore people. They're here for the F1.
Can I just quickly? Right, I think I need to ask the first question. Keith, I'm glad you're finally on the show. It's been so long, like since you've joined the league, and you've never been on Extra. I'm glad you're here, and there's only one place I can start with. How many times did you hit Dom on Sunday?
Absolutely zero.
Why?
I didn't hit him once.
Right, Gareth, you can take back over. That's all I need to ask.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
That was my only question for it.
Asshole.
I'll drag the questions out away from Taz and give you a nice ride for your first Extra and all that.
Excuse me? What kind of service are we offering here?
Ooh. Taz,
At least take me on a date first, Gareth.
we're number 45. Anyway, so obviously first time there's been a fifth league for you driving in it. How were you feeling when you were obviously announced in the F5 league?
I wasn't surprised, to be fair. I wasn't going to be an F4, that's for damn sure. First full season back since I came back to F1 XL, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Got a good team from F1 all the way down to F5, in my opinion. So it'll should hopefully be a good league, good laugh. It was a good laugh on Sunday.
It was probably a good laugh on Friday as well, but that wasn't F1 XL.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah.
So you were one of only two drivers to opt to qualify on the mediums to set your fastest lap. Was there any? Talk us through it. Was that your plan all along, or were you praying someone would knock you out of that top 10?
It was the plan. It was the plan to start on the mediums the whole time. I thought that if I started on the mediums, it would be a lot easier to be that more pacey. And let's be fair, we all know that I need a little bit of help with the pace. So I decided if I start in the mediums and then I can go soft into the race, and it seemed to work. I was always going to hope that I ended up 11th, as everybody would rather start than 10th to get the fresh medium tires. But I mean, it is what it is. I got 10th. I think that's probably the highest I've started since I came back back to F1 XL. I think, Taz, could you confirm that one? I think it is. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it
You know what?
possibly
I thought
could
there was another race that you qualified inside the top 10. But do you know what? We'll say that just now. If it's wrong, then yeah, shit happens, eh?
Everyone knows I'm rubbish anyway. But yeah, so that was always the plan. Start in the mediums, go soft into the race, and then see what happens after that. Try not spin, try not hit my teammate, and try not hit anybody for that matter of fact.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the race then. Obviously, you're starting 10th, your teammate down into 14th, so a few places behind you. What were your hope? Like, do you have a chat before the race? Did you have any hopes, aspirations?
I wanted a top 10 finish. That was my aim, was somewhere in the top 10. I wanted to at least get points in my first race of the season. Yet did I know I would finish when I finished, but the first few laps, I couldn't have asked for a better start. I think I got up to, was it P8 or something like that in the first lap, and then I held it for the second few, and then I started to catch up with the rest of the pack as their softs went off and my medium started taking effect. So once all the soft runners started pitting off and getting away from us, and then I was able to slowly build that wee margin and get away from it a wee bit as well, which was also very helpful at times.
And what was the strategy like for between you and F1XL Dom? Obviously, you finished quite close on track at the end, but was there any points that you were thinking you might have to pit on the same lap or anything?
Not really, because I believe he started on softs, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I think we started on different tires, so our strategy was a bit different.
I'm just trying to have a
So
look.
it was just a matter of like sort of timing of what we were going to do, but we always knew that we were always going to roughly pit around about the same time. So if he started on softs, he was going to go like 9. I was always going the first stint, always going to be longer than him, so we didn't need to worry about the first stint. The second stint, I believe he went into medium, so the second stint we didn't really need to worry about either. And then because I was obviously going soft, the part of just managing my tires was mainly the fun part. I think the last stint was probably the more difficult one for us. But when I think he got wing damage at one point, so he had to pit at one point early to get I think it was mediums or softs to the end, which I was helped by the safety car.
I was gonna ask. There's no rain in F5, but what was it like? Obviously, a safety car there, and I saw a lot of two stopping from the spreadsheet. Was your strategy always going to be a two stopper if there was no safety car?
Yeah, I was always going to go the two stop. The safety car kind of helped me out that wee bit just to keep my tires alive in the last end to second stint, beginning the last stint. To be fair, I came out as They came out in my last stint as the safety car came out. But the strategy was always medium to start, soft. I felt like I could make that work, and I felt like it did. So that always helps.
I mean, given a different day, do you think you could have finished higher up, or was it always this was the best you were going to finish?
I thought I could finish higher that race. I did. I was looking halfway through that race. The way I was looking at, I was like, no, I've got a chance of a podium here. I didn't think it would be first or second because I felt like DB and Jamie the G was just that wee bit too far ahead. But it came to near the end of the race and I was stuck behind Houghton. And I just could not get past him. He was on the mediums as well, and it was just making me even more frustrated because I knew I had Chaos behind me who was hunting me down like it was nothing else.
Sounds like a start of a joke. An Irishman and a Scotsman walk into an F1 track, but obviously there's a lot of names. Obviously, you remember from F4 last seasons of Arnie, Chaos, Dom, Houghton. I don't know if he had any races with you then. Bradley Johnson and possibly Jamie the G as well. What was your expectations from the newer drivers? Sorry.
For the newer drivers, I generally didn't have any. Like I came into the race thinking, right, I don't know what these drivers are like. I don't know much about these new drivers, so all I need to do is try and keep it as clean as I can. You don't know what it'll be like. You don't know how it's going to go. So that's how I did it, and that's how I went with the whole race. Now I've got a rough idea on what like the new drivers are like when they came in. Some of them are fast. Some for our league, some of them can hold their own in the league as well. It's a very very close league from what I was spotted. Like, so you never know what's going to happen in this league this year. It's F5. No, it was the same as F4 last year. No one really knew what was going to happen from, say, 5th backwards in F4 last year. So this year it's a lot closer in F5. So it should be a hell of a lot more fun.
How are you? So obviously early doors. Who do you? Obviously Jamie the G second and Jiwi. Jiwi? Is that correct? Sounds like an adaptation
I
to
was
the
I was
Wii.
going along those lines as well. To be fair,
They've proven to be pretty quick, both starting first and second and finishing first and second respectively in that. Do you think they're the two for the title, or is it still too early doors?
I'm going to say it's still too early. My pick, I've said already to Tazo, and I'm not going to declare it, but I've said who I think is going to win it, and I hope he does, because I think he needs the confidence boost, and this said person needs that wee boost to get going again. But I know this person's a lot faster than what he was on Sunday. But again, Jamie the G and Giwi, or however you say his name, was very quick for our leagues. So again, they've got potential as well. But even then, so does I would say the top 5, 7 in our league, 8 in our league, all could possibly put up a fight against that in certain races and certain tracks. So I think it'll be quite a really close season for F5, and I don't generally think it'll be won up until the last maybe 3, maybe 2 races. I think it's going to be that close for us.
Fair enough. Next week's race, obviously the start of this season is very similar to the start of last season. Just the tracks have been slightly altered, but I can't remember which way around the track is. So I think it's Azerbaijan next. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Azerbaijan next. Yeah.
Obviously, a completely different style track to Abu Dhabi. Do you think it could suit you better, or is this one staying way clear?
I'm not too sure. I really don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot tighter tracks, and we all know that I love walls, so it'll be interesting to watch. I think it'll be interesting to see how I do. I've had a few practices on it so far, and want to come off here. I'm probably going to jump back on it again to try and get used to the track again. But it's my first time back at this track since I left, and so it's going to be my first proper race since in 8 years or something like that when I left the league. So let's see how it goes. I guess.
Has it really been
I
that long?
don't really know. I think it has, yeah. Like I
Nah,
think
it's not been that long.
Has it? I think
Nah.
I'm going to check.
On the subject of Taz, anyway. Taz, have you got any questions for Mr. Keithy?
Nah, he's boring me.
Okay.
Can't be arsed listening to him. Nah, it's a simple question. Looking back, obviously you said, you'd plan to start in the mediums. I think, P10 on the mediums, I think it was.
Yeah.
If you went on the softs, do you think you could have potentially got right up with the top 2?
Yeah, I think my fastest in the softs was round about their quali time. So,
Okay.
I think, I was on time trial, I think was my fastest one on that. I think it was roughly about that time, not 100% sure. But so I think I might have been in the top 5, but
Yeah, no, that's fair.
like I said, my strategy was always to start in the mediums at this race, so I knew I was always going to be starting near the back of the top 10 anyway, if not into the highs.
Also, in terms of your qualifying, I had a look. You remember China last season? You got P7. But you're only 2
Was
places
it
behind
P7?
me.
Was it?
Yeah. Okay. Last question then. Prediction time. Who is winning
Ooh.
Baku on Sunday?
Ooh. I'm
Only one
going
you
to
can,
take
but why not?
a hint and go Chaos is going to win at. It's going to win at Azerbaijan.
Oh, sorry, I did that out loud, didn't I? Okay.
I'm going to take a hint.
Okay.
He was
That's
well raced. He was well raced at Abu Dhabi. He didn't spin out. He held his own.
But
was
have
at
you
my
seen the amount
poop
of
shoot.
run out area that there is at Abu Dhabi?
I know. There's
Have you
literally
seen the amount of
none.
run out area at Baku?
There's literally no runoff areas at Azerbaijan. But again, he held his own. He was hardly off the. I don't think he went off the track at Abu Dhabi. So he was consistently either in front of me or up my ass the whole fucking game, whole race.
Listen, what you two do is between you two. That's important.
So it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Gareth?
Arnie.
Okay.
Tazo?
Right. I am going to pull my best Gareth impression and go outside of the norm, as he likes to say. You know, whatever nonsense saying he likes to
Outside
say.
of the box. Well, how hard is it to remember the phrase outside? You're worse than Stacey.
Do you know what? I said that just to get that reaction, and I got it. Do you know what? I'm gonna back the man sitting chatting in the chat box right now of Joshua.
What, Canna Carling? Is that who it is?
Yeah, kind of Carolyn. Yeah, I
Fair
think
enough.
he had a good showing on Sunday, and I think he backs it up with a better result this weekend.
Fair enough. Scotsman, just before you go, or Keith, I don't know what to call you anymore. You,
Come, Dave.
No one ever does.
obviously, Racing Point has a new team owner completely this year, in the form of my lag. Yeah, I've got that right, haven't I? It is my lag in Racing Point.
My life.
Yeah, my lag. How has he been so far? For you, obviously, you're a bit of a veteran when it comes to team owners, obviously having it way back when, and then obviously now, last season, and then this season.
I've got no complaints so far. Absolute none. He's came in, he added us all on the night of the draft. He asked us what we thought, what we were doing. So far, I've got absolutely no complaints over him. We'll see. Hopefully, he continues it for the rest of the season. Again, like I said earlier on, the whole team has pulled their own weight to help out the whole drivers, from the F1 guys to the F2 guys to the F3 guys, F4 guys, and the F5 guys. The whole team have all done their bit to kind of help each other out. So I think we've got a good bunch of guys in our teams this year. So it'll be. I think in the long run we could be somewhere fighting and making people think that, you know what, Racing Point, we could be up there, you know.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much for coming along on the show for your first one, and your first one of season 17, hopefully first of many. Good luck for the rest of the season, and good luck Sunday. Have you got any final words for the guys out there?
Peace out.
Easy.
Wow.
Easy. It's like dropping the mic, isn't it?
Mic drop.
I think we need to, have gifts in here and do the whole, when Barack Obama dropped it, and have that pushed down. No, anyway, no, that's not happening. Let's move on then, Mr. Tazo. Before I
The ramblings of a quiet, crazy man. That's what that was right there.
Obviously, moving on to F4. And the standings do work for F4, guys, so it is saved us a little bit. However, I did quite like looking at the sheet that we had, so it gives us a little bit more information to really interrogate the guys in the chat.
I know you said sheep, but I genuinely thought you said the sheep. I was like, I know Scotsman was in the party, but come on.
You'd need Taff Man, wouldn't you?
Well, he's from the other sheep shagging area, but that's a whole different conversation for another day.
I'm not even going to go there, and I'm going to leave this party.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Right, let me go to number 4. And then we should hopefully be having, join us in a second, of the man whose bio is simply Hodor. Hodog.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there. I've been hearing this story.
Yeah, so Slow Dog and I have sent a few messages quite a lot recently, and we start off with the gif of Obi-Wan from Star Wars. Hello there.
Hello there.
So that might pop up a few times tonight. Mr. Tazo, I had F5, so I'll pass it off to your capable hands for F4.
Really?
Aye, really?
Really, pal? Aye. Aye, need trouble, eh?
Aye! Answer me questions, baby.
Are we going to do this in Fat Bastard impressions, yeah?
I'm already there. There's no impression needed.
You're the
I'm
great
already there.
qualifying! Oh no, do you know what? F4 on Sunday was, how'd I put this nicely?
Interesting?
Yeah, I think interesting is probably the right way to put it, and I don't even exaggerate when I do say that. It was something else. I've been in many races, and I don't think I've seen anything quite as insane as what that was. Qualifying first of all. Talk everybody else through it. How was your qualifying?
Well, I very nearly gave you the opportunity to say, Slow Dog qualifies in 7th again.
I was waiting on it, I'm not going to lie.
I know. I was watching it as well, thinking, go on, someone pick me to it, go on. But no, it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. From my point of view, I didn't think I was going to get onto the pace as quick as I did. To be fair, I was hoping to get higher up, but there's a couple of the guys up at the front absolutely nailed those laps. Really quick laps. So, but you know, 6th, better than I normally do. So,
do you know what? Like,
I
had a prediction before the race, and I sort of looked at last season's pole time in F4, and I sort of took a little bit of time off it, and my expected pole time was around a 35.5, 35.6, and you were right on that. And the guys were just like, nah, forget that prediction. Like, the times that they set were phenomenal. I mean,
there was 7 drivers beat last year's pole time.
Yeah, exactly, and that tells you just how much, like how much further the league's going in terms of actual pure pace. And I mean, even guys like, I'm just looking down the grid, like Sainz, who was an F3 driver last season, only managed to get it up to P12. So it does show that there was quite a bit of pace there. And
yeah, absolutely, and it kind of, I wouldn't say it caught me off guard a little bit, but with some of the people that were high up and some of the people that were low, but it certainly was an eye opener. It was a good first indicator of where the pace is coming from.
I think someone in another league absolutely nailed it when I think it was after qualifying. I think I might have been trolled actually. He put a message in, I think it was the Team Owner chat, being like, Jesus Christ, the pace of the league has changed massively. And he's absolutely spot on, and you can see that by, what were you? You were 6th in qualifying, and you were 7/10ths off of pole. That's mental. So, anyway, let's get on to how do we describe this? Carnage, chaos, inferno, all of the above.
A cluster duck.
Yes.
We'll go
And
with
it all
that.
started as early as turn 2, amazingly.
Actually, no, it started on the grid because I stalled.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and something happened. I don't know. It happened on the start of the warm-up lap as well, where I just stayed still for a couple of seconds for some reason, and I don't know why. Didn't think much of it then, and then it happened again in the race. So yeah, everyone got to turn 1 and turn 2 way before I did. So my only knowledge of George going off and painting the wall an interesting shade of Grosjean was.
Sorry. I should have. Oh, that.
Yeah, my only knowledge of it was after it had all happened and the safety car came out. I had to watch the stream back to see what actually happened there. But then you missed it in the stream as well, didn't you, Taz?
I was looking slightly further behind, and then I suddenly looked. I was like, "Oh wait, there's a car missing." Because Because you know when you're looking at the front car, but realistically you're looking behind, and I sort of was like the front two are sort of they're fine, and then I looked behind them, and then it was like, oh, okay. I noticed Greeners has piped up in the chat box. I think this is a very good time just to remind him that I will post a clip publicly of you in qualifying at Abu Dhabi where goals drove straight into the back of you and your balls basically walked straight back into you. But that's a whole different conversation.
That was very funny.
Anyway, back
But
to the
yeah,
race.
so yeah, it was. I missed that, and but I was quite glad of it considering my stall on the start line. So happy days with that, really.
Yes, that was safety car one. Where did you actually end up at the end of safety car one, like in terms of when everyone was ready to go back out? Because I know there was quite a few people who jumped in the pits straight away, and some said that it was tactical as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of them, and it was tactical. I always intended to do a two-stop, and so the stops are just horrible. So the sooner you get off them, the better. So I thought, well, a few laps with on this, it might just make two medium stints quite doable from lap 2, and that's what I did. Funnily enough, my teammate decided to do the same thing, and then I think everybody else was a mixture of damage and tactics as well. So I think I came out at about 14th, 13th, something like that, and then just plodded along really from there.
Yeah, it sort of ended up being quite strange because at the end of the first safety car, I think there was, if I remember correctly, I think the first safety car was a good sort of ending, like no one really made too much contact, but there was a few sort of light taps that sent people in half spins, and I remember seeing you sort of slowly work your way back up the grid again.
Yeah, and I'd been tapped a couple of times as well. I think there was one point going into the hairpin, there was a bit of a concertina going on, and I was the last car involved, and happily kept it out of the wall. But yeah, it was just a case of working my way back up gradually, and I think through a mixture of strategy and through a mixture of people just having their own issues here and there, worked my way up quite nicely. So by the time was it second or the third? Second.
Well, the second one came out lap 10, lap 9, around that time.
Yeah, I think I stayed out for that one, and then the other one was right around the time of.
That was lap 18, I think, if I remember correctly. It was around about that time.
Yeah, so that one kind of fell into the realms of I might as well pit now, and for my second stint. So it worked out quite nicely in that respect, and yeah, I think the only on one hand the safety cars helped, but on the other hand, it meant that towards the end of the race, there were other people from the strategies they were doing that were on slightly fresher tyres, so it made it a bit more difficult to try and defend late on when a couple of the pacier guys were coming through, or like with ours, he was out front, and I just didn't have the tyres to do anything about it.
I think I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your little battle at the end, because you and Greeners had an absolute ding-dong for the last probably 5-6 laps.
Yeah, it was a good few, wasn't it? And I wasn't expecting him, and I was just driving along quite happily, and I heard the sound of a pigeon behind me. And lo and behold, there was Greeners. But I enjoyed it, you know. It was probably the most consistent piece of battling that I had throughout the race with one person. So, yeah, just one person to battle with was quite good fun for those last few races. And I'd just like to point out on track, I did beat him. You know?
Yes, just unfortunately penalties, which is the first time actually that's happened in Greeners' favour, because often it's a case of he's winning a race and then he gets a penalty. And he loses it by 0.1 of a second, but let's not go into that.
Exactly. We could hear the fapping afterwards.
Okay, so obviously P4, good result for you.
Yeah, delighted.
Your teammate who had a really horrible piece of luck the whole race. I think it didn't matter what he did.
Yeah, he had what is known in the industry as slow dog luck. He absolutely drove a slow dog race and seemed to have
Anytime
everything
he
happen
started
to
to
him.
make progress back up the grid, there was an incident, and he went straight back down again. Which was a shame, but you know what? These kind of things happen.
Yeah, he'll bounce back.
Yeah. Baku this weekend.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Love Baku. Very happy
Yeah.
with it. My only thing I think I'm going to find it quite a bit this season is that I'm starting for the first time on medium traction. Not done it before. So what I discovered at Abu Dhabi was that you can't drive it the same way. Obviously, there's places that how you took with traction on, full traction on, you can't take them the same way. I think probably my weakest point from last weekend's race was the hairpin, and that was all down to the medium traction and just learning it and starting to understand what I could do and what I couldn't do with it. So ordinarily I'm very confident with Baku, but again it's going to be a completely new learning experience for me going into it.
Yeah.
And trying to find how it drives differently to how it used to.
Mm-hmm. And have you found that the your new drivers have sort of been helping you with sort of the adjustment from full to medium traction?
Say again, sorry.
Have you found that your drivers have been helping you with the transition from full to medium?
No, because I've not asked for it, and it was something I started towards the end of last season. So the last 2 or 3 races, I think it was, I went with medium traction to try and get myself warmed up to it a little bit for this season. So I got a lot of the advice back in the Pink Panthers last season, really. But by the same token, I know full well that if I needed any help, I could ask. So they're all good lads.
Yeah, that's fair.
Apart from Frosted, he's weird.
I've just noticed in the chat as well. We put "have we fuck." Okay, so who's winning this weekend's race?
Difficult, actually. I got a sneaking feeling that it's going to be either Az or Chipmunk. Their pace, especially Chipmunk's pace at the end, was very impressive. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say George. I think he could have made that a very, very different race last week if he hadn't spun off.
So he's going to be an angry driver this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go with George, I think, for this one.
Okay. Gareth, I'm going to tag you in and see if you want to ask the slow man anything.
How's it like returning as a team
Gareth, actually, it's cool. I've been enjoying it so far. Again, I've got a good bunch of lads. I'm quite happy with my team. They're all decent guys, and I'm like it. I'm looking forward to the challenges over the course of the season.
And what's your personal aim for the season? Where do you see yourself finishing?
Myself as in myself, or myself as in the team?
Yourself.
Me, top 5.
And
I'm a bit. Well, in terms of me, I wasn't peeved that I was tier 2, but I've had a few seasons now with some terrible luck, and I kind of feel I've got the bit between my teeth a bit, and I want to get that top 5 finish. As for the team, I'd be very, very happy with the top 3, but I think I've got the team capable of winning it.
Ooh. Taz, what do you make of that?
It's absolutely the right mentality to have after week 1. If you don't back your team at an early point, then you shouldn't be a team owner. I 100% back that statement. I don't even know if, I've not looked through your entire team properly, but that's the right approach to have regardless.
I think every one of my tier 1 drivers is capable of taking the title in their respective leagues, and every single one of the tier 2 drivers are more than capable of getting good points week in, week out, and just keeping it going. So yeah, I've got every confidence in all of their abilities. And we didn't have a great first week. We had quite certainly in the top leagues, we have quite a few issues and guys didn't finish. But actually looking at the qualifying and seeing the pace that they've got, yeah, I'm perfectly happy with them. I think they'll all do great things this year.
Fair enough. Well, Mr. Tazo, your recommendations for winning, that's not really a recommendation, is it? Who's your thoughts on winning the F4 race at Azerbaijan?
I'm going to hate myself for saying this.
You're going to say Greeners.
Yeah. I don't want to, but I kind of have to. He finished second last year. Surprise, surprise, after bottling it. He is probably... Out of the guys that have come from F4 side of things, he is comfortably the fastest around Baku. And I think he proved that last season. Dave isn't far behind in terms of pace, but I think Greeners for actual race pace has just got a little bit more on him. There might be a couple of, maybe Az might be quicker than Greeners, but I genuinely think Greeners will win this weekend.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to go for his household teammate. I'm going to go F1XL Nick.
That's a man who probably should have been in the fight at the end of the last race. To be fair, he got unlucky, but it's not a bad shout. He will be up there at the end of the season.
Yeah, we're not talking about Nick's incident.
No,
we're not.
No, we'll be distant.
No, not happy about that.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for F4 then. So thank you very much, Slow Dog.
Cheers, guys.
And we'll catch up with you at some point in the season, I'm sure.
Yes. Have a good season. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, you too.
And there he goes. Mr. Tazo, shall I...
Goes again. Sorry.
Shall I do the winner of the picture?
Yes.
Fair enough. Well, it's going to be up on the stream very shortly. It's a very, very good photo. I do quite like this one. It's looking extremely racy around Abu Dhabi. And the winner is Chipson Davey from F3. He seems to be winning a lot of things recently. But, I mean, deserved, Taz? In your
I
eyes?
like that picture. I'm not going to lie. I like a good action shot, and I do like that picture.
And thank you again for all, I don't want to say nominations, all the
we had quite a lot of people who put pictures into us. So thank you very much, and keep it coming next week as well, guys. If you need any help with doing it, just give us a shout, and we can tell you how you do it as well.
But yeah, that's the winner of that one, and David will get his comeuppance. No, he'll get his prize soon enough. Let's move on to F3 then, and F3 is... it's really weird this season, I think, is the only way I can really describe it. Having so many leagues and...
Yeah, it's going to be a killer for us with Xtra, especially if we get into a good conversation.
Which we've shown already. We were at 1:45.
Well, to be fair, we did start late.
Yeah.
We didn't start till 10 past, so we're technically only about 5 minutes behind. There you go. Make you feel better, yeah?
Well, we started at 5 past on my thing.
It was 8 minutes past. 8 minutes past, Gareth.
On my PC.
By the time
we're doing it off my PC.
When you started talking, it was 8 minutes past.
Right.
Yeah.
F3.
What you gotta do? What you gotta do when I beat you? Let's see. Invite to party.
Now, I believe this will be a first for Xtra for this chap.
Yeah, I can't invite him to party, which is really annoying. Things are going wrong.
Typically. It's because you're on a PC. I don't have him on my friends list. Nothing to do with this certain team. Because the team owner generally gets banned from the chat by pingers.
Yep. That sounds exactly right. Yeah, I physically can't get him in the party. It's not letting me. There we go. Hold on. I think we have progress now, finally. Aha, there we go. Jesus, that shouldn't have taken that long. Fuck amongst yourselves, it's all good.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Hey,
Mr. Taz.
Jimmy, don't tell me what to do.
Now,
Hello?
he is there.
There we go.
Welcome.
Oh, hi.
First time on Extra, so
Hello, guys.
welcome.
Yeah.
Um,
What's up, guys? You good?
yeah, well, I'm good. I don't know about Mr. Tazo. I don't
Oh.
worry about him.
Fuck you too then.
So obviously, it's your first little show. Have you watched much Extra before?
No, actually not. It's my first time.
Ah, okay. So
I only joined last season. I didn't even know that it was a thing.
your team owner last season wasn't doing a good job then. It wasn't.
No, I know.
It wasn't Madman, was it?
Oh man, I love the savagery behind that comment as well.
So obviously, and probably not the season you remember last season. It's a rookie seasons
No.
quite often don't always go as Chips and Davies' way. But how were you feeling coming into this season? Obviously, a little bit more in tune with how things are.
I felt a lot better actually. Because I got the season under my belt and I didn't know the pace in F3. Because I only knew a few people from F2. So I didn't know where I was at with the pace. But I felt a lot better going into this season. I love practice at Abu Dhabi, so.
Quickly talk about qualifying. I don't have the qualifying results in front of me, so you'll have to bear with me, and I'm not sure where you qualified. But how was it for you, and how was it for a team? Did you have a set plan?
Yeah, my plan. I was with Joe in the party, my teammate, and we knew we were fast. So yeah, we got a strategy for the race on soft, medium, medium. So we knew we were gonna qualify on softs. So we both did that, and we were 1-2 at the end. So it was amazing qualifying. I did 1:34.3, I think, and then Joe beat me by like 1:10. So quite close actually. And the guys behind, Chips and Davey, and a couple of others were quite close as well. It was exciting.
There was like you mentioned before, there was a few people from F2 last season have been reduced to F3 again with yourself. What were you expecting from them in the first race of the season?
A bit more actually. I expected them to be quite close to me actually, but I don't know what it was. Maybe they had just a bad race, but I think they will be quite close this season with me. Obviously, I raced them last year, so I know how quick they can be.
Obviously, it's only been one round, and
Yeah.
before you actually got racing. You just finished qualifying. You'd had a good result. What were you thinking when you're just about to set off for the first time for this season? Were you confident, or was it all a little bit just confusion?
Well, I was next to Joe, so the only thing I thought actually was we need to survive turn 1 with the two of us. But I was excited to start. I was confident. I was second, so I knew I was fast and that I could win the race. So I was excited to start.
And then talk us through your race a little bit. I mean, was it a quiet one? Were you fighting with Joe a lot, or was it just you two were just trying not to hit each other?
Well, at the start, Joe got connection issues, so he lagged out. And when the race started, he wasn't in, so I was first at turn 1. And then it was quite I built a gap for like 2 seconds. So it was quite quiet till we got to the first stops. I did like 6 laps on the softs. They were so bad. I want to get rid of them quickly, so I went on mediums, and then I dropped to like 13th, 14th, 15th, and there were all the guys on used tires. They were slow, so Joe pitted the lap before me, so he was behind me, and we just got through that field with fresh tires. It was quite exciting, actually. It was fun.
And how was it at the end of the race? Obviously, yourself and Joe, the first team 1-2 this season. I know we've only had one race. I'm just looking through. I don't think anyone else has finished 1-2 in the season so far in the other leagues. So, I mean, it's a nice accolade to have this early on. What was Madman's reaction? And obviously, how did you guys feel?
Madman was so happy. He had such a bad season last season, so I was quite happy for him as well, because I was in his team last season. So I was just glad he picked me again and showed faith in me, and I'm just happy to pay it back a little. So yeah, I was happy. Also, Joe and me were over the moon with that result.
Nice, Mr. Tazo. Anything for Jimmy here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, just before I do start speaking to Jimmy properly about things, I'm pretty sure that with that race win from Joe, you guys have already matched the amount of wins that the whole of Mercedes got for last season, so well done on that. Nothing against you, Jimmy, but I have to put that dig in there against Madman. So
yeah.
Dropping down to F3 from F2 is obviously, some people take it as an insult. How did you sort of react to it when you found that you were actually dropped down a league? Were you quite happy with it, or did you think that, you wanted to prove people wrong and say you actually are F2?
I had mixed feelings, actually. In F2 I knew I was one of the slower guys, so I thought if I get dropped down, what happened, then I can fight at the front. So I had a bit of mixed feelings. I like to be in F3. And also the guys in F3, I didn't race with them before, so I didn't know how quick they are, or were, or will be. So it's quite exciting to race with new guys and see how they race.
Yeah. And did you get to have much wheel-to-wheel battle with many of the guys? Because obviously I know that you and Joe were up the top end, but was there battles from other guys sort of overtaking you as well, or did you two pretty much control it?
Yeah, after the stops we were in the midfield, and there were guys in front of us fighting, and we couldn't pass them. So we were stuck behind them with and they were fighting in front of us. So yeah, when that was over, we did a lot of overtaking to get back to the front, because they were on a different strategy. Some of the guys did one stops. We spoke before the race that we're gonna do two stop, soft, medium, medium, and nothing would change that. Only a safety car, but that didn't happen. So yeah.
Good. No, I'm glad to hear that things went well in your first race, because after a season where you're maybe sort of in the back end sort of lower points, to start off with the new season in a lower league with a podium is always a good feeling. So
yeah.
We're looking ahead to Baku now, and how do you feel about that track?
Yeah, I don't know. I did a bit of practice. I know my pace, but I don't know all the other guys, because I didn't race with them before, and I don't know how quick they are at Baku. So it's a bit of a waiting game, and also I don't know how quick Joe is. So we do a little practice this week, and then I can see how quick he is and where I'm at.
And what do you think the key will be to getting a good result at a track like Baku?
Yeah, Baku is quite difficult track. The balls are close, so my strategy is just keep it clean, and yeah, just I don't know really.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep it clean.
Yeah.
And I'll see where it gets me.
And do you go one better this weekend?
I hope so. I hope so.
Okay. Gareth, you want to ask any more?
No, I'm all good. I think it's prediction time.
Prediction time. So are you going to predict yourself to win this weekend, Jimmy?
I thought about this when you asked the other guys in a 4 and 5. I thought, should I say myself? I think Joe's quick. He showed that last week. And it will be a good fight between us. And also the other guy, Chips and Davey, who was right behind us in qualifying last week. He had a bit of a silent race, but I think he's quick as well. So I think between the three of us.
Go on, give us one name.
I'm gonna win.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear. Go on, Gareth. Who do you think?
I don't want to jinx him, but I'm going to back Jimmy as well.
Ooh.
Am I going to make it a 3 out of 3? That's the question. I'm trying to remember last season what happened. That's all, because I know last season was an interesting race, and I'm looking at the grid, and you know what? Under normal circumstances, I would potentially. I'm going to probably sound like an idiot here, but I'd potentially back someone like Trolled, but it's Baku. Trolled and Walls work better than Trolled and Baku. Okay. I am going to go for Sorry, this is a long-winded process here. I'm just literally picking random here. Why not? Total Caesar. Last season, I'm sure he ended up finishing quite high, so let's go for him.
Okay.
I think he ended up finishing on the podium, if I remember correctly, last season. So, if he finds his form, then yeah, I think he's got the consistency to do really well at that track.
I will watch out for him.
There we go. Well, Jimmy, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
Honestly, pleasure speaking to you, and hopefully we can get you on again before the end of the season. You're
Yeah,
definitely
alright.
more entertaining to speak to than your team owner, because Jesus Christ, he's boring. Honestly,
I will
Jimmy,
try to be good.
thank you very much for coming on,
Yeah.
and we'll speak to you soon, alright?
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Right then, let's move on and hit the F2 side of things while the iron is hot, as they say.
We have some difficulties with F2. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but Ash Rainbow's stuck at work.
Oh God, he's done a me. Okay, that's not a problem.
I've not really had the time to sort of deal with anything like that, so we could just discuss what happened.
I mean, yeah, just look at. I mean, it does kind of help us make sure we finish on time, which is always a good thing.
Yeah. Well, so basically, what's happened in F2 is there was many cars that lined up on the grid,
Yep.
and some finished, some crossed the line.
Well, the majority of them did. There was only 2 that didn't.
Yeah. And some didn't, but not everyone finishes.
Oh no! Both the racing
yeah.
points didn't finish.
Scotsman doing his team proud as usual.
I mean, we could also touch on the racing points as well, but I mean, the racing points, the team's totals as well. I know it doesn't have F5, but it's still an interesting
all good.
look. But Roll Hard Lad then taking victory.
By the way, I need to go and watch this race back. I've not had a chance to yet this week, but there must have been a safety car close to the end of the race, because the gap between the top 3 was just over half a second.
Jesus.
Between the top 3. So I'm maybe penalties will come into that or something, but Roll Hard Lad first, second Gamerman Steph 0.526 behind him, and then Pear 0.551 behind Roll Hard. So there was, what's that? 25 thousandths of a second between second and third. Oh, that's incredible. You know what? I think it's maybe a sign of what's to come this season in F2, because BX, I think he had a few incidents that pushed him down a little bit. But he's definitely going to be one to watch this season. I think Ash he's the F3 champion, and everybody knows that if you're an like a tier lower jumping up, you've normally got that winning mentality behind you, which does actually help. And then people think, oh, you jumped into a much quicker league, but that mentality of winning races constantly does have a massive impact, and it sometimes can make that difference against the guys who are maybe mid-pack.
No, I'm in complete agreement with that, because it's some. You just look at Pickled. I think Pickled is the best example to anyone. He's got himself into F1 from F4. So it just shows, it gives you that little bit of belief to keep on practicing, to keep on fine-tuning everything you do to get to where you want to be. And he's still there now, so that's a great thing as well. But it's a really mixed grid, and I'm quite surprised. Who finished 10th?
That's just so random. Oh, let's pick a position 10th. Okay, who finished there?
No, because I'm looking at the standings on the site, and there is no
Dozy
10th
Dog.
place.
Dozy Dog, there's an
Right.
issue with that, but Dozy Dog finished in 10th place. Yeah, do you know what? There's a few guys who I kind of expected to maybe be higher than they are as well. I think I actually expected Jam to be in the top 5. I thought this would maybe a track that suits him, but Under the Dad, I think he's quicker than what he showed. Carol, Alpaca Carbon. Yeah, there's.
I'm surprised by Gamerman to be up there. I know he's quite quick, but I thought he would be battling to get into the top 5, not being there straight away. So it'll be interesting to see him. BXTN being 6th, wasn't expecting that. Alpaca Carbon outside of the points. TMS Ben as well, I was expecting him to be higher up, but we'll wait and see.
Definitely. Okay, so we sort of talked a little bit about F2. Think that's enough?
Yeah, go for it. Let's move.
Okay. No. What have we not done?
Oh, yeah, okay, I suppose we should do it for F2, shouldn't we?
Yeah, that would make logical sense.
Pair F1.
Okay. I'm going to bring up the standings from last season just to see what's happened.
Well, Pair wasn't there, so... Oh, wow, that fucking hell, that rhymed.
Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, Jesus.
Thanks. What's happened?
No, it's Pair wasn't there, rhymed, so Pair there, you know.
Anyway, moving on. Now, I've not even looked at the F2 standings, but I think that I don't feel like it's a track that Key will do that well at. I'm going to back Roll Hard to go 2 for 2.
First double race victory. I mean...
Well, no one else can be a double race victor yet, can they?
I know, but I'm just saying, it's... I think that's the first one we've said as a double race victor. I don't think anyone else has chosen the same driver yet. So it's the first one picked.
Yeah, no, that makes more sense, right? Okay, so I've just had a look at the end of the F2 stream on my phone right now, and Pear was the one who crossed the line first, right? 2.5 seconds ahead of Roll Hard and Gamerman Steph. So just a penalty is all that did it, and yeah, it was literally half a second between second and third, and Kian wasn't far behind either, but he had penalties as well. So it was really close at the end of that race, but hell of an ending.
And that's my worry with BX. I think he will pick up too many. I think I backed him for the title at the start of the season, and now I'm kind of backtracking a little bit. I think penalties might cost him.
One race in and you're already doubting yourself. Nice.
Yeah. Let's go to F1.
I think it's F1 time.
Let's get to F1, and
You know who's here for F1, don't you?
oh, it's going to be an interesting one. To speak to him about it in full.
Yes, and I've just sent him an invite just now.
So just to
So-
confirm to everyone, there was rain at Abu Dhabi in F1.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know the rain, like the things on YouTube that help you go to sleep, like the rain sounds. I feel like we should just have this in the background, or the Halo ODST soundtrack, and just in the background. Well, because I just was not expecting that. Anyway, Matt45, welcome to Xtra, our newest member of the admin team as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah. Look forward to joining the admin team and pushing the league forward. Hope everyone's enjoying the photo competition. And there's a very nice photo that won this week. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of messages in the chat already saying it was a beautiful photo or a brilliant photo or whatever. But we're not here about the photo. We're here about F1 and your debut, your full debut, I should say, for F1.
Yeah, pretty happy with how things went. Rain in Abu Dhabi was not quite what I expected for my full F1 debut, but it was a welcome thing because I do enjoy the rain. I think that definitely helped me.
Now, obviously, a lot of drivers didn't check the weather forecast in qualifying because who would think about rain in F1 in Abu Dhabi more or less? But did you check it, or were you very much you've just gone into the race and then gone, oh shit, it's raining?
I always have a look at the weather and always hope it rains. So.
To be fair, I genuinely believe if you got sort of two wheels and spun them at the same time, one saying, wet and dry, and the other one saying Abu Dhabi, it would probably take about 30,000 spins to get that combination because it never happens.
We did have SFR in the rain last season, surprisingly.
Jesus.
So my last two Abu Dhabi races have actually been in the wet, but it wasn't quite inters for that, so it's kind of the slick still on the dry tyres, which was not very fun, but the inters didn't feel too bad at Abu Dhabi. I felt like I had pretty good pace in the wet, but obviously overtaking is pretty hard. So I'm just kind of stuck in the train.
Yeah, I was going to bring the train up with you and Sinful Chris a little later on, but obviously qualifying pushed quite hard. But was it were you excited where you qualified, or was it? Excited is the wrong word, but
I think if it had been dry, I'd have been more excited to be P11. That'd have been perfect. I could have started on mediums and just gone long. But I think P11 for my first start at track, I'm not particularly strong at. Right in the middle of the pack, which is where I kind of figured I'd be, fighting in that midfield area with like Straka, Sanchez, Family Guy, and obviously I had a Madman.
got to finish in front of that guy. I mean, before we speak fully about that, obviously Validated Viper or ERL Viper, well known now to be one of the fastest to step foot in F1 XL. Were you surprised at how quick he was?
I thought he'd be quicker, if I'm honest.
Okay.
I know the people he races against are like the top tier drivers, and no offense to anyone else in XL, but I don't think anyone could really touch Viper on his day, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes or gets caught up in anything. If he turns up every week, he's going to win every week.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. He's very, very quick, unless he does his the first challenges, and the likes of Light Shock, Hypers, and Swain and Binary might have a chance of pulling away. But enough about that anyway. Tell us, obviously, the start of the race was quite hectic, and then it kind of, there was pockets of battles, and unfortunately you got caught up in one right in the middle.
Yeah, I was stuck behind Straka for a long time. Straka doesn't really seem to have the pace in the wet. I think he went to medium traction, so I was just ending up pushing him around the track half the time, but somehow I managed to get a better exit out of him and get past him, and then got onto the back of the Sloppy train. Sloppy also seemed to be struggling in the wet, which is weird because I always think Straka and Sloppy are very good at Abu Dhabi. I think maybe the wet just caught them out there. And then I was behind the train of Sanchez, Family Guy and Sloppy. think Sanchez must have got damaged somewhere because he pitted, and then I came out ahead of him once it was dry. But I don't think I had the dry pace there really to fight like Chris and the faster guys. But in the wet, I was feeling pretty solid.
I mean, there was a few laps where Chris was... I mean, you were behind Straka and Chris was behind you, and it looked like at one stage Chris was pushing you along and you were pushing Straka along. How difficult was it to overtake Straka?
Well, it took me like 7-8 laps, I think, but I managed to get just a very good exit out the corner, and that's the only way you're going to do it, and just emptied my whole ERS bar. And luckily Straka didn't make it too hard. I think he knew that he
His
wasn't
time
quite
had
at the
come.
pace. Yeah, but I'm sure Straka will bounce back. I know he doesn't like the rain, so he's the opposite of me. He doesn't want it to rain ever, and I want it to rain every single race.
You said Sloppy again was a very difficult driver to overtake. He, I think, has gone to no assists at all, hasn't he?
No traction.
No
yeah,
traction.
He's working on his no traction.
Yeah. I mean, did you use that to your advantage, or did you try to?
No. Well, he was at the front of the train, so I wasn't getting to him. I'd have to overtake Sanchez and Family Guy first, but
I thought you.
both of them
yeah.
were really struggling
Yeah.
to overtake him. But and then once everyone pitted, Chris overtook me. I think Chris had way more pace in the dry than me. I was really struggling in that final sector to just do anything really, traction, turning in. And then he just disappeared, and despite his penalties, he still managed to get P5. Me and Family Guy had a nice little battle, but Family Guy's penalties cost him ultimately.
I was going to say, yeah, Family Guy had plenty of penalties to his name, and it eventually pushed him to 10th. But do you know what happened to Binary?
I think he got involved with Sanchez, didn't he, in the second clip, and second incident. I don't know what happened first.
Yeah, because there was I saw the bit of Sanchez and someone having a slight coming together, and then Binary. I think I'm not. I need to see it from Binary's point of view, but it looked like he went to avoid Sanchez, and then that little curvy bit at, is it turn 17?
Yeah, not really an overtaking place, is it? I think
No.
it's,
And he just collected
one of
into the
those
wall,
things
and
that
then
happens. Yeah.
explosions happened. But before that,
Probably the worst race I've seen from Binary in a very long time. So I'm sure he'll bounce back next week at Baku, though.
yeah. But obviously he pitted to get the fastest lap of the race at the end. Viper did the same thing and came out just behind Master Swain, and then Binary did it again. What's your thought on Binary just trying to? Is that just to assert his dominance, to say, "Hey, I'm the champion here"?
He's just trying to take it away from Viper, because you never know. Yeah, Viper might win the championship by 1 point at the end, and that 1 point is crucial.
Fair enough.
If you got no chance of points, you might as well do that. And I think he was quite far out of the points at that point.
You've got a couple of newbies, I suppose is the best way, rookies in F1 this season. Hyper, Hickman, and is it B7 VXN? Kind of like BXTN.
I think that guy lagged out of the qualifying. I don't know if he got back in. I think he had some issues from what someone was saying. But Hypers has shown good pace in the Saturday League we have as well. So I think he's someone who's going to be comfortably midfield. I think my aim has to be to try and get with him and Chris, because I think I'm the level below them at the moment, or at least in the dry. In the wet, things might be a bit different.
So you're hoping for a wet Baku.
Ooh, that doesn't sound fun, but I just like the wet. I think I'm quickest in the wet, so, or not quickest in the league, but quickest compared to in the dry.
You're averagely quicker in the wet than the dry. Let's go with that.
Yeah, basically.
What was your? I take it back a step, but what was your thoughts coming into? Obviously, new season. You're in an F1 league for the first proper time in XL. Where were you thinking you were going to finish this time around?
I think points every race is doable, as long as it's not Monaco, where I will be last. And maybe one podium over the season. I think I'll probably need a little bit of luck, but I think if things went well, I think I could get podium. I think that's got to be the goal for the season, being a Tier 2 driver. I think that's what most Tier 2 drivers' aims are, get a podium, get top 10 every race.
Are you going to try and tap into the knowledge that Master Swain has? Obviously had a title fight last season. Probably one of the best drivers to have as a teammate, because he's 9 times out of 10 calm and collected. And I mean, you're both Mats. I mean, is that a help?
Swain's put his lap from Abu Dhabi in the chat, and I looked at it and helped me improve a little bit. He's a very quick driver. He's someone who will be up there every single race on the podium, as long as there isn't incidents. I think it will be him, Binary, and Mark fighting for podiums, and if Viper shows up, it'll just Viper be gone every race.
Mr. Tazo, have you got anything for Map 45?
I'm just trying to think. You know what? Yeah, I'll ask one question and one question only. Because I'm nice like that. Are you surprised the fact, and obviously, sort of when we spoke to the end of last season, you thought you could be mid-pack, but are you surprised at the fact that you were quicker than some of the drivers that sort of are F1 residents now, I think was the right way to put it?
Like pingers?
Well, yeah, like pingers.
No, I'm not surprised I'm quicker than pingers. Or Madman.
Yeah, no, what Madman's really quick though, isn't he?
Is he?
Yes. I don't know what you're on about. No, are you surprised sort of in the way that you were like, you said obviously you're pushing guys like Straka. Are you surprised it was that much? Because Straka, start of the season was tipped to be one of the ones that could break the top 5.
Me and Straka seem pretty evenly matched on a lot of tracks in the other leagues, so not really a surprise I'm there with Straka in this, especially in the wet.
Oh, sure. Okay. I did say one question only.
Fair enough.
Just had to get the shit on Madman in there. Be rude now.
No, I don't do that. I've told you this before.
Right. Okay. Obviously, looking at the early stages of the season 1 race, if you had to put your money on someone winning the title, who would you do?
I mean, if Viper's here every week, you can't look past him. But say if Viper only shows up to 1 in 5 races or something, I'd probably go. Yeah, maybe. I'd probably have to go with Sloppy.
Ooh.
I think the improvement Sloppy's had. He had a bad Abu Dhabi race because it was the rain, and I'm not really sure what happened. But I think on his day, he's probably the quickest, apart from Viper. If you've seen some of his time trial times, top 10 in the world at a couple of tracks. So he's definitely got that pace there. He just needs to work on his consistency.
Fair enough. Okay, Baku, who's going to win it?
Sloppy.
Mr. Tazo?
Swain. I remember last season Swain was, I think, did he not end up finishing second right behind Midi?
Yeah, Prophet Midi
at Baku. Yeah, I think Swain will go one better this time, because I know for a fact that that'll annoy him that he finished second behind them.
I'm going to back Prophet Midi.
Okay. Sorry, Matt, who did you say? I didn't quite catch that.
Sloppy.
Sloppy, that's fine.
As long as he's allowed out of Pingers' basement.
He needs to give Pingers some tips, especially at Abu Dhabi.
Probably why he's not allowed out of the basement. Because he keeps on beating Pingers. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Matt, thank you for coming on to the show. Have you got any final words for the guys out there?
No, I think look forward to Baku. Hopefully everyone can keep out of the wall apart from Madman. So yeah. Thank you for having me on the show.
Pleasure as always. Thank you very much, Mr. Tazo. We are very close to the end of the show now, and I mean, how would you sum up this week's show? I guess.
Yes. No, it was a good week. Yeah, we managed to get some good talkative people on, and hopefully we can get some more in the future.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll go with that. Thank you very much for watching us in your evening. Mr. Tazo and I will be very shortly going on to a Pro Clubs FIFA game. Are we clubbing, Mr. Tazo? Get it?
Yeah,
Anyway,
we are.
So if you want to stay around, hang around, I will be hosting the channel that one of the channels, if multiple people are streaming, to watch some more fun and listen to some more hectic stuff. But that will be happening in roughly 5-10 minutes. So if you want to hang around for that, it would be much appreciated. If you just want the F1 action, then we'll be back on Sunday for the F1 XL Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's at 2100 hours. We've got 4 leagues being streamed. The F1 XL main site will be doing the F1 site. We've got Whatwire, who will be doing the F2 side. We've got Big Will and Swayze off Big Will's account will be doing the F3 side of things, and then Mr. Tazo and Starstill will be doing the F4 stream. And well, it was a good one last week, an interesting one last week for Mr. Tazo, and I'm sure he enjoyed it. Did you not, Mr. Tazo?
Yes.
That sounds a very positive yes. And then we'll be back this time next week for the rundown of all the leagues at Azerbaijan, hopefully with a little less, a little more fluidity as we get used to being 5 leagues again. But for now, we'll catch you later.